While you can enter each student's information at the time of screening, it is much faster to have all the students preloaded into the system, allowing you to quickly select the student to be screened from a list and having the system enter the information on your behalf. The process of preloading the students can be broken down into 3 steps. The first step is receiving your school's student roster in an electronic format. Getting this file usually involves your IT department or administrative staff. They have access to your student information system and can export a file for you to import into the Vision Screening system. The second step is formatting the file so that the Vision Screening system can import it successfully. And the final step is importing the properly formatted file into the Vision Screening system. From the main menu of the screening system, click on the button labeled Upload Student Roster. From the Upload Student Roster screen, click on the tab labeled Instructions. We recommend printing these instructions for your use, as well as providing a copy to your IT department. So let's first discuss the task of receiving the student roster electronically. Typically, the student information system contains much more information about each student than the Vision Screening system requires. In other words, the Vision Screening system only needs limited information about each student, and therefore, the person exporting the information from the student's database needs to know exactly which data to pull. So here is a list of the data needed for each student. The first name of the student, the last name of the student's date of birth, the student ID or number that is assigned or used within the school. This is not the student's social security number. The student ID is optional, but we recommend it as it facilitates the use of the paperless reporting of vision screening results. We also need the grade of the student, the teacher of the student, and this is typically the homeroom teacher. You can optionally include the student's gender, and finally, you can optionally include the student's ethnicity. The file you receive from your IT department must be capable of being opened by Microsoft Excel. While there are many types that are compatible, we recommend either a native Excel file, a comma-separated value file, or a tab-delimited text file. Your IT department will decide which file format to provide you. Before moving on to formatting the data file, there are several items that your IT department will want to know regarding something called field constraints. This is why it is so important that your IT department receive a copy of the instructions. More specifically, this table describes the field constraints. Without going through every field, let's just look at the student's first name. The required header is the word first in lowercase, and the allowable values are the student's first name with no commas or special characters. Now, it is possible that the file provided by your IT department contains the information required, but still needs to be formatted by you prior to importing. So let's talk about step 2, where you verify and/or format the data as needed for importing. For purposes of this demonstration, we will assume that the IT department did not format the file as needed for importing. Now, we're not suggesting that the IT department won't format the file as needed. But if they had, for this example, we wouldn't be able to illustrate the process of formatting the file. So you receive this file from your IT department, and we are now ready for step 2, formatting the file as needed. So let's open up the file using Microsoft Excel, and the very first step is to ensure that the file has a header row that is correct. In this case, the file does have a header row, but we need to fix it. Referring back to the table, let's make sure that each column has the correct title. So the next formatting correction is for the date of birth. We need to ensure that the date of birth is /delimited and the order is month, day, and year. This is typically only necessary if you are accessing the system from a country that uses a date format other than month, day, year. And the final check we want to perform is to ensure that the grades listed are using the proper syntax. More specifically, let's just make sure that pre-kindergarten is listed as pre-K and that kindergarten is listed as K. Other than that, the grade should just be the appropriate number. Now we know the data looks good. We just need to save the file as a CSV or comma-separated value format. Simply select File Save As, and then select the CSV file type from the drop-down list. The name and location of the file is entirely up to you. Just remember exactly where you're saving the file and what name you're using. Okay, we're ready for the third and final step, which is the fastest part of this entire process. You just need to tell the system what file to upload. The only decision to be made prior to uploading the students is whether or not to clear the existing roster of any students that may be left over. Remember, as you screen students by selecting them from this roster you upload, their name is removed from this list. This allows you to look at the list to quickly see which students still need to have their vision screened. Well, as you well know, not every student may get their vision screened. And as such, you may have students that are left over in this list. So, in general, we recommend clearing out the roster. Just click on the Delete Existing Roster tab, select the school, press the red Delete Roster for Selected School button, and then read the confirmatory message, and then press the Yes Delete button to confirm the deletion. This message does tell you how many students, if any, are remaining in the roster. If you do not delete the roster, the new roster will be added to the students that are already in the roster. Okay, so the roster is cleared out and we are ready to go. Click the Upload Roster tab, select the school, and either drag the file you created into this area, or you can click this area and then use the file browser that appears to choose the file for uploading. Either way, you will see the file icon appear, and now you simply press the blue Upload Roster button. A message appears confirming that the roster was uploaded. Well, that's it. This video training took longer to watch than is required to upload the roster, especially once you're comfortable doing so.